Hey, if you're watching this video, you might be like me who wanted to transfer from photography into videography. But while photography is something that's a skill in itself and can be quite difficult, video is just next level. It's just more difficult, there's more settings, you need to get it right for the exposure. There's so many things to consider, but while photography is not dead and you can definitely make a career out of that, or you can just take photos for yourself, video is where it's at right now. And it's where the business is going, it's where the clients want it, it's the TikTok, it's the Reels, it's the short form content and the long form content here on YouTube as well. So how do you go about actually getting into filmmaking? That's something that I struggle with myself. I've been trying to do that for the past months, and I've just recently cracked the code onto how to actually go about it. And I think the thing for me was it felt like climbing a mountain to begin with. There were so many things to do. I didn't know how to film myself. I didn't know what to film. I didn't know how to put things together and how to go about it. There was just such a high kind of entry barrier mentally for me. So the thing is, it's often not the clips itself, the actual video that you shoot. The magic happens in the edit, with the music, the mood that you create, the story that you tell. So how do you go about making something like that? Well, the music plays a very big part, first of all, in terms of the mood that you can create. So just to show you what I mean, here are 3 different songs that I've chosen from Epidemic Sound and 3 clips that I just have from my drone here in Bali. And I just put them together with the different music just to show you how the mood and the feel changes with those different clips and sounds. So let's just play them through. As you can see from that, the mood changes drastically. There was one that was a really happy mood, there was one that was a little bit more peaceful, and then there was one that was kind of suspenseful and a little bit more horrifying. I felt a little bit like a horror movie actually. So that's one way to go about it. And as you can see, those 4 clips that I used were used for the same thing, but they create different moods. So one thing that I will tell you is that if you go into this filmmaking space, don't be scared to use the same clips over and over again, because you can tell different stories, you can use them over and over again in different settings, in different order, in different stories. So don't be afraid to reuse it, especially for Reels and TikToks. They don't live very long on those platforms, and while some of your core audience might have seen it, if that's what you're going for, they don't care about seeing it again. And if they do, you might lose 1 follower, 2 followers, but you can gain so many more if that's what you're going for, growing your profile. That's the way to do it at the moment. Photos are unfortunately not a very good place to go right now here in the middle of 2022. So how do you actually go about shooting short form content? Something, as said, I struggle a lot with, but while I've been here in Bali, I've just been capturing back and forth, right and left, and gotten a lot of different clips that I can now use and I repurpose into different reels. So while I'm talking about this, I'm just playing a bunch of these clips on the screen, and those are clips that I use over and over again to just put them into different reels, tell different stories, and just mix it up with different sounds. And I actually find it a lot of fun. But what it also does is that it helps me figure out what kind of shots work, what kind of edits do I want to make? Do I want something with motion? Do I want something more static? Do I want it slow motion? Do I want it normal pace? Like all of these things are things that I thought about beforehand, but it's super difficult to remember it all when you start shooting in the field. And what I've found is that if you just start shooting a bunch, and no, you don't have to be in an exotic location like Bali, you can shoot in your backyard. Remember that if you're going to shoot for a client or a company at some point, if it's a local brand, they probably want local content as well. So you can't be limited to wanting to travel to the other side of the world or to an exotic place to be able to shoot these things. So when you go about it, shoot some different things. Shoot something that tells the story. So you want to have a main storyline that kind of tells a little bit of a story. Let's say you wake up in the morning, you take a shower, you brush your teeth, you go for a cup of coffee, and then you get to work. That's kind of like 5-6 clips that you can put together in a main storyline. But then getting from A to B is maybe something that you want to capture as well. So you can capture you riding on your bike or going in your car or in the metro or something. And if you capture just a bunch of different angles with these things, like turning the key in the car, shifting gear, turning the wheel, walking into the metro, walking out of the metro, whatever it is, getting on the bike, getting off the bike, driving in different locations. It can be difficult. You can maybe get a friend to help you film a little bit. That has definitely helped me. But getting those kind of clips is what you can put in between, also called B-roll. But if you start thinking about the clips like that, then it's much easier to put it all together in the end and tell different stories with these. And those in-between clips are something that you can use for everything as well. You might have different clothes on, you might have different, if it's not a core story that you're telling, it doesn't really matter that much. The audience will get the story anyway, and in the end, it's the story that matters. It's not, the fine details are good and that can come later, but for now, it's not the fine, small details that matter. It's telling the story, it's getting better. And honestly, I think short form content, Reels and TikToks are a great place to grow right now because they are so short, hence short form, but that also means that you can create a lot more. At the moment, I'm pushing Reels like crazy. I'm posting a new one every day and I'm using the same content over and over again, finding trending sounds, pushing the content, and my Instagram account is growing really great right now. And I'm getting a lot of positive feedback as well, so that's super cool. Something that I've just recently changed my mind about, to be honest. I was a lot of like still doing photos, and if I did a reel, I wanted to be new content all the time. I just changed my mind and thought that why is that? It's not living for that long. Here on YouTube, a video can live for a very long time, so that's maybe a little bit different. But still, you can reuse the content. I've even seen TV shows recently. I watched the TV series on Netflix and I noticed that the same clip, the same drone clip, when they transitioned from one scene to another, was used over and over again. And I just realized that, but it also gave me a sense of like, I recognized that. So that was going to the precinct or something like that, right? So you can definitely reuse your content. You can reshoot a bunch of different stuff and just repurpose it and get better. And I promise you, if you keep doing that, if you put out a lot of short form content and you grow that way, you'll become much better at both editing but also at shooting and knowing what you need to shoot and how you need to shoot it to get it right and to get it to look good and what works and what doesn't work. And that immediately sets into your mind when you are in the field and when you start shooting, when you're out shooting for a brand with friends, whatever you're doing, it comes in your mind and helps you to create better and think more creatively when you're out in the field as well. So those are my tips in terms of going about it, making the transition from photography into a filmmaker, or just starting to think like a filmmaker, to be honest. Something I struggle a lot with, so I thought I would share it with you, how I go about it and how I'm seeing and feeling a massive change in my mindset and in the way that I go about it just in the past month or so. So I hope that helps you. If you've got any questions, comments, anything, hit me in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you like these kind of videos. Playing around with a bunch of different stuff right now here on YouTube, growing. I want to make more films as well. That's coming, but for now, a lot of tutorials, a lot of chats like these are coming. So yeah, stay tuned and I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time, take care.